July 5, 1943. Kursk becomes the stage for the largest tank battle in history. Over 3,000 German tanks, including the feared Tiger I, face 5,000 Soviet tanks, mostly nimble T-34s. The salient at Kursk bulges into German lines like a giant anvil. Berlin calls the plan Operation Citadel. Crush the bulge. Encircle the Red Army. End the stalemate after Stalingrad. The German High Command waits for new machines. Tigers with thick armor. Panthers with long 75mm guns. Ferdinand tank destroyers with powerful 88mm cannons. Weeks pass. The Soviets use every day. They study captured orders. They intercept radio traffic. They prepare. Multiple defensive belts are dug. Trenches, anti-tank ditches, camouflage, wire, and mines. Hundreds of thousands of mines. Perhaps over 1 million. Mines disable tracks. Engineers bury them in fields, on roads, at likely choke points. They layer anti-tank guns and artillery to catch German armor when it slows. Dawn breaks with a roar. The Soviet side opens with a preemptive artillery barrage. Shells fall on German assembly areas. Then German guns answer. The assault begins. North of Kursk, 9th Army pushes under Model. South of Kursk, 4th Panzer Army drives under Manstein, with Army Detachment Kempf on its flank. The ground is dry. Dust hangs low. Engines groan. Tracks clatter. Over the fields come Tigers and Panthers, Panzer IVs, assault guns, half-tracks, and infantry with MG-42 machine guns. The Tiger's 88mm gun speaks. At long range, it kills with shocking force. 2,000 meters. Sometimes more. Its frontal armor shrugs off many shells. Crews feel invincible. But the battlefield is not a gunnery range. The Tiger, once invincible, is outnumbered, outflanked, and outpaced. The Tiger is heavy. It is few in number. Fuel is precious. Maintenance is constant. A thrown track stops a king as surely as a bullet. The T-34 is the opposite. Simple, rugged, fast enough. Sloped armor. A 76.2mm gun that can kill at closer range. A diesel engine that runs in heat and dust. Wide tracks that keep it moving in soft ground. The Soviets bring many of them. They move in groups. Soviet waves never end. Red Army commanders know the ground. They have mapped every line of sight, every ravine, every orchard. They fight in depth. When the Germans smash the first line, another line waits, and another after that. In the north, the German advance is slow and costly. The Ferdinands have fearsome guns, but they have no turret and no machine gun for close defense. Soviet sappers crawl forward with grenades and satchel charges. Artillery spotters call down fire on stalled vehicles. Anti-tank guns, 45mm and 76mm, open up from concealed pits. The 9th Army bleeds for every kilometer. The vaunted new machines meet old problems. A mine, a ditch, a burning village, and the courage of a man with a bomb. In the south, the 4th Panzer Army makes better progress. Panthers lead, but many are brand new. Gearboxes fail. Engines catch fire. Mechanics work under fire to keep the line moving. German pilots dive and strike. Junkers 87 Stukas scream down on trenches. Henschel 129 tank busters hunt Soviet armor. Soviet Il-2 Sturmoviks reply, their armored bellies shining in the sun. Airstrikes hammer rear lines. Ammunition trucks explode. Field hospitals take cover. The sky is a second battlefield, loud and lethal. Villages change hands by the hour. Names like Oboyan and Prokhorovka become symbols of steel and fire. On July 12th, near Prokhorovka, a Soviet armored counterattack collides head-on with elite German panzer divisions. The field is broken by a rail embankment and small gullies. There is no time to range targets. Fighting turns to short-range chaos. Tanks appear at 50 meters. Some crews ram each other. Others fire point-blank. The dust is so thick that commanders lift hatches to see. A shell from a 76.2 millimeter gun hits a Tiger's track and spins it around. A Tiger's 88 millimeter shell punches through a T-34 and the one behind it. Both sides claim sweeping victories. Both sides bury many dead. Numbers swirl after the smoke clears. By the end, Germany loses nearly 300 tanks. The Soviets over 1,500. Some are destroyed beyond repair. Many are damaged, recovered, and fixed. The exact totals are debated. What is not debated is the result. Yet, it is the Soviets who hold the field. The German offensive runs out of time and strength. In Sicily, Allied troops come ashore on July 10th. Strategic pressure mounts. Hitler halts Citadel. The Red Army seizes the moment. Operation Kutuzov strikes toward Orel in the north. Soon after, another hammer falls toward Belgorod and Kharkov. The salient is no longer a trap for the Soviets. It becomes a trap for the Germans. Why did the plan fail? Firepower and armor alone do not win a campaign. The Germans bring superior optics, excellent gunnery, and hard-hitting tanks. But the Soviets bring depth, intelligence, and scale. They build layered defenses. They choose ground that breaks up long-range duels. They force close fights where numbers and bravery matter. Their logistics keep fuel and shells flowing despite losses. Their factories replace tanks in weeks. Their railways repair tracks overnight. A burned-out hull on one day becomes a runner a few days later. A fresh crew climbs in and drives east. Combined arms matters. Infantry must guard tanks. Tanks must support infantry. Artillery must shape the battlefield before either arrive. At Kursk, when German tanks outrun foot soldiers, Soviet anti-tank teams slip close. When Soviet tanks charge without artillery preparation, German guns reap them. Radios, maps, and signals matter as much as armor thickness. Leadership matters too. Commanders on both sides adapt in real time. They commit reserves at decisive hours. They pull back when a thrust fails. They endure. Technology still leaves a mark. The Tiger I leaves a deep impression on everyone who faces it. Crews respect its reach and fear its silhouette. But a single weapon cannot redeem a failing plan. A tank stuck on a mine is just a bunker, and a bunker that cannot move is a target. A Panther with a broken final drive is a bonfire waiting for a match. A Ferdinand without infantry cover becomes prey. Brute power meets patient preparation, and patience wins. The battlefield itself fights. Heat saps engines. Dust hides ambushes. Smoke blinds gunners. A track snapped by a buried charge turns a 90-ton promise into a roaring torch. A wheat field conceals an anti-tank ditch until a first row of tanks plunges into it. The second row scrambles to stop. The third row is hit by artillery. The plan on paper becomes a knot of human decisions under stress. Kursk is a turning point. Before Kursk, the Germans can still dream of regaining initiative in the east. After Kursk, the dream fades. The Red Army keeps the initiative from that summer to the end of the war. The Tiger, once invincible, is outnumbered, outflanked, and outpaced. The T-34, the workhorse, shows what reliability and numbers can do. The lesson travels beyond 1943. In war, systems beat single machines. Preparation beats impulse. And the side that learns faster wins faster. Kursk proves brute power alone is not enough. Steel burns and history changes. The field outside Kursk is quiet now. The mines are gone. The trenches are grass. Museums display an 88mm gun and a T-34 side by side. You can see the armor scars on the metal. You can touch the rough welds. You can imagine the noise. Over 3,000 German tanks faced 5,000 Soviet tanks. That number alone does not tell the story. The story is the mines, the plans, the sweat, and the steel. Mines disable tracks. Airstrikes hammer rear lines. And in the end, the side that holds the ground writes the last line. At Kursk, that was the Soviet side. Subscribe for more World War II stories.